Do you scare this guy? Scared of this guy? No, he's not also. Let's make a fight. Let's create the rules.
One of the most anticipated fights of 2024 will finally take place on October 12th when Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol meet for the undisputed light heavyweight title. Both undefeated and in their absolute primes, this bout will certainly be a banger with the pugilists putting everything on the line. Bivol is fresh off his TKO win against Malik Zinad, boasting an undefeated record of 23-0, 12 of which are KOs. On the other side, we have Beterbiev, who made easy work of Callum Smith coming in with an unblemished record of 20-0, all of which have been earned by knockouts. While this LHW clash was previously set to headline a star-studded card that included the returning Deontay Wilder facing the in-form Usyk and Zhang. The fighters have since shared their thoughts with Bivol, extending his gratitude to the matchmakers as per BigFightWeekend.com, saying, "It's a great fight not only for me, but for boxing fans. Saudi Arabia will make this fight and thank you for this. When I signed a contract to be a pro boxer, I had a goal to be undisputed champion." Whereas, the stoic Russian, Beterbiev mints his words, keeping it to just a simple line, "I'm happy to be here, it's not the first time. I see another belt. I'm collecting belts, and I need one more." A tense exchange erupted at the recent London press conference, leaving everyone wondering what it meant. During the event, a journalist probed, "Do you have a message for Dmitry Bivol now that he's here?" Beterbiev replied cryptically, "He know already." Confused, Bivol responded, "I don't know already." Beterbiev, maintaining his enigmatic air, asserted, He know. Beterbiev then firmly concluded, "I tell you, no. For sure." This brief yet intense exchange highlighted the mind games prevalent in boxing, particularly in fights of this magnitude. Looks like Bivol wasn't fazed by Beterbiev's mind game. In the same press conference, Bivol talked about how he thinks this fight would be a huge test for him. Dmitry Bivol isn't shying away from the magnitude of his upcoming fight with Artur Beterbiev. Bivol sees this as the culmination of his lifelong dream. "I'm happy because when I signed a contract to be a pro boxer, I had a goal to be undisputed champion," he told reporters. He acknowledged Beterbiev's danger, but welcomed the challenge.
Every time when I'm on my training camp, I think my opponent is the dangerous opponent in the world. These thoughts help me to be in focus, to be serious in my training camp, and of course he's one of the dangerous opponent. Even if we see on his records, even if he see on his fights, he's powerful, and it makes me more excited to fight against this guy because I love challenges. I love to be tested, and this fight, the huge test for me also.
The highly anticipated, undisputed light heavyweight title fight between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev had finally been given a new date after their initial bout was postponed due to injury. The pair were supposed to face off as part of Saturday night's 5 vs. 5 event in Riyadh, where 5 of Eddie Hearn's matchroom boxers faced 5 of Frank Warren's Queensberry fighters, which ended with a dominant 10-0 victory for Warren, as Usyk and Zhang demolished Deontay Wilder with a 5th-round knockout in the main event. However, it was announced that Beterbiev had sustained a ruptured meniscus in training, ruling him out of the long-awaited fight and prompting Malik Zinad to step up as a replacement. Bivol outclassed Zinad 22-1 with an explosive 6th-round TKO, following a huge left hook with a barrage of lefts and rights until the referee was forced to step in, handing the Libyan the first loss of his career. Bivol extended his own perfect record to 23-0 in what marked his first stoppage win since 2018, having arrived on the back of 9 successive unanimous decision victories. "I believed my power was there every time, and I didn't have any doubts," Bivol explained in a post-fight interview. After the fight, Turki Al-Sheikh, chair of the General Authority for Entertainment in Saudi Arabia, entered the ring and confirmed that Bivol versus Beterbiev would meet on the rescheduled date of October 12th to kick off Riyadh season in Saudi Arabia. Moreover, pound-for-pound star Canelo Alvarez has his eyes set for a rematch with Dmitry Bivol if Bivol defeats Artur Beterbiev in his upcoming fight. Canelo has made a strong comeback after losing to Dmitry Bivol last year, but he still feels the impact of that defeat. In 2022, they fought for Bivol's WBA light heavyweight world title. At that time, Canelo was seen as unbeatable and was the favorite to win, but Bivol ended up winning the fight. Since then, Canelo has had some big wins. He defeated an older Gennady Golovkin by unanimous decision in their 3rd fight, and then he won another fight against Britain's John Ryder, which was his first bout in Mexico since 2011. Despite these victories, Canelo still hasn't been able to secure a rematch with Dmitry Bivol, which he clearly wants to set right. Since their fight, there's been a lot of talk about a possible rematch between Bivol and Alvarez. After the loss, Canelo went back to fighting in the super middleweight division, where he was already the undisputed champion. Now, on September 14th, he will fight Edgar Berlanga as a unified champion. Canelo Alvarez has also discussed the chance of facing Dmitry Bivol again. While appearing on the Pound for Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo, Alvarez said not only will he be watching that fight, but he's interested in possibly trying to avenge his May 2022 unanimous decision loss to Bivol at 175 pounds. Yeah, if it's possible one day, it's the only fight I make one more time at 175 with that rematch with Bivol, Alvarez told both Usman and Cejudo. I think it's the only fight I will move up and fight with him. Coming back to the Bivol versus Beterbiev potential fight, despite his tremendous win over Canelo Alvarez, Bivol stays humble and knows what's coming ahead. During an interview, he explained how Beterbiev is a tougher opponent than Canelo Alvarez.
To be honest, I believe that it's the hardest test. Why? Because he's stronger. I know he's physically stronger than Canelo, and he has good technique too. Many people talk about his power, but they forget about his technique.
The boxing community is eager to watch both light heavyweights clash on October 12th. Blair Cobbs thinks Artur Beterbiev's power will be a game-changer when he takes on Dmitry Bivol later this year. Beterbiev comes into the fight undefeated and with a perfect knockout record. Even though Bivol might be his toughest opponent so far, Cobbs, who's a welterweight contender himself, believes Beterbiev will still come out on top. Artur Beterbiev has unbelievable strength and power. I don't know how Bivol is going to be able to fight somebody like that, said Cobbs when speaking to pro boxing fans. I don't see Bivol being able to survive something like that, but it will be very interesting. Bivol could land too many punches on Beterbiev, mess around, and start piling on points. Albert Ramirez believes that the fight will be a 50-50, but bets on Beterbiev to win by knockout. He stated, "For me, it is a 50-50 fight on paper. I know how Artur trains personally, and I've heard Bivol is always doing good training. But if I do have to put money on the fight, I will have to say that Artur will win by knockout." Lyndon Arthur, who has sparred with Artur Beterbiev before, shared his thoughts on a potential match between Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. Arthur acknowledges that Bivol has excellent technical skills and a high boxing IQ, which will make him a formidable opponent. However, he believes Beterbiev's raw power is a major factor that shouldn't be underestimated.
I just want to ask you, obviously, as a man who shed the ring with Dmitry Bivol, he's facing Artur Beterbiev now. What's your thoughts on that undisputed match?
Well, I used to think Bivol was I still think Bivol was the best. Bivol was elite, but now I've seen that, and I've felt Bivol doesn't hit as hard as what I think he needs to keep Beterbiev off. I've sparred Beterbiev. I know how hard Beterbiev hits in 16 ounces. I wouldn't like to take them shots in 10 ounces. Not for as long as that anyway. As a 12-round fight, and I don't know, man. Bivol's a boxer through and through, and he'll be happy to stay in there and box his head off if it can be done. But
undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk has predicted who will become the next undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. During the 3 Knockdown Rule podcast shared on YouTube today, the Cat, Usyk, chose Bivol as the potential victor. The Ukrainian champion said, "I guess Bivol. He has good legs, good movement. I watched the fight with Canelo Alvarez. Good boxing, defending, counterpunch, and combos." Zile Zhang confidently predicted that Artur Beterbiev would knock out Dmitry Bivol. In an interview with Boxing Scene, Zhang shared his views on the matchup, saying he believes Beterbiev's power will be overwhelming for Bivol, leading to a knockout victory. They're both great fighters, but Beterbiev will hurt him and probably end this fight with a knockout. I think Beterbiev's power will overwhelm Bivol's in-and-out footwork and his skill set. I think Beterbiev is just way too strong. Eddie Hearn spoke highly of Artur Beterbiev, noting that Bivol has never faced a fighter quite like him before. Hearn highlighted that Bivol is the underdog in this matchup, and he described Beterbiev as being so tough that it's like facing someone who isn't even human.
Like, you're fighting a guy that's not human. You know, he's not breathing. Every shot hurts. Even in the clinches, you see how strong he is. I'm not sure I've seen anything like it before, really. It's like it's not right. It's just like it's an unfair advantage.
He also noted that while Beterbiev's age might not be on his side, the fighter continues to improve with every bout. Hearn admitted that if Bivol executes his game plan effectively, he could potentially wear Beterbiev down in the later rounds. Hearn compared the matchup to a chess game, emphasizing that every move and strategy will be crucial in deciding the outcome. I know he's getting older and you hope that he is slowing down, but he is not. He's actually doing his best performances now. It is very difficult to outbox him in the 12 rounds because he is actually going to wear you down. He is going to force the pressure with his shots around the back of the head and shots on the ears. They really hurt. Robert Garcia thinks that Bivol might fight himself in trouble against the knockout king Beterbiev. He said that in order to win this fight, Bivol has to be the better one in the ring. He stated, "I think so too, but he's Bivol gotta be a better fighter than Beterbiev because with Beterbiev, it's f***ing hard. So one punch, He also believes that Bivol has to move quickly to counter the power of Beterbiev. Well, that's what Bivol's gonna do. Just boom, 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 touch, touch, and move, and touch, touch, and move. But that power is always there, man. That power is the last thing that leaves. Recently on his podcast, former world champion Sean Porter offered his opinions on the approaching game. Porter showed faith in Bivol's ability to beat Beterbiev, predicting that the fight would not finish in the early rounds as past events have shown. Artur Beterbiev is going to take a lot of punches like he always does, and I don't think he can catch up to Dmitry Bivol. Nope, he can't drag Bivol into a fight. Too damn disciplined, too much lateral movement, too intuitive, good boxer. Roy Jones Jr. believes that Dmitry Bivol holds a slight advantage ahead of his huge, undisputed battle against Artur Beterbiev later this year. Jones Jr., a former light heavyweight champion himself, has identified several factors why Bivol should be considered the favorite. No, it's not a 50-50 fight. 1. Beterbiev is 38 years old, 39. Beterbiev has been down. Bivol has never been down, said Jones Jr. when speaking to Boxing Social. Bivol has been in there with who, at the time, was the pound-for-pound best in Canelo Alvarez and made him look like nothing. He further added, so it's not a 50-50. Beterbiev has got everything to show me to bring it back to a 50-50 fight. Right now, Bivol has the advantage 60-40. Joe Smith Jr. is a struggling boxer who has faced tough losses against both Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. His fight with Bivol was somewhat competitive, and he even managed to knock Bivol down at one point. However, when he faced Beterbiev, it became one of the worst nights of his career. Despite this, Joe still believes that Bivol is the better fighter overall compared to Beterbiev. In a recent interview with Themistodi, Joe was asked which of the two fighters was more challenging.
In my opinion, I felt Bivol was, the tougher fight for me. He's an all-around fighter, but both fighters are very skilled. Beterbiev, he's very accurate with his punches. He hits you where he wants to. But, I would be looking forward to seeing the two of them fight.
So what do you think about this fight? Who do you expect to win the light heavyweight title? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.